Have you ever had to decide whether it was time to give up on something or time to just dig in your heels and persevere? It can be really hard when there just comes a time when you just don't know and things feel really, really hard. So I just want to share something I learned several years ago when I was trying to make a decision about moving forward with something. And a friend gave me a scripture that I had heard many times, but I had never thought of it from this particular perspective. So I'm going to read it to you, and then I'm going to just tell you how to really distinguish between something being difficult and something being burdensome, which oftentimes is the distinction that we need to make in order to make a decision about whether to persevere with it or whether to let it go. So the scripture simply says, it's from the book of Matthew, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest. Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls. For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Now, when I read this quote, which was directly from Jesus, I thought it just meant, if you're tired, if you come to me, if you surrender all of these thoughts and worries, I'll give you some rest. And that's a piece of it. But what I came to understand differently is this whole idea that his burden is light and his yoke is easy. And that doesn't necessarily mean that everything that you do will be easy. But it does mean this. If what you are doing is burdensome, in other words, there is nothing in it that is redeemable. There is no energy that you get from it. There is no grace for you to do it. It is simply hard. It simply drains you. There is no purpose in it. Then you really have to ask yourself, is this a task, an activity that I'm meant to be doing, or at least meant to be doing in this season of my life? So I just want to give you a few distinctions between something being difficult versus being burdensome. Okay, number one, you're working hard and you're tired, but deep down you're energized by what you're doing. There are some things we do in life and there's no getting around it. It's going to be hard, but it's going to be worth it. And there's a sense of gratification and satisfaction that comes from doing it, even though it might be the most difficult thing we've ever done. So if you're energized by it, even though you're worn out, even though you're tired, even though it's hard, that's a sign that it's difficult, but it's not burdensome. Number two, it stretches you, but it doesn't break you. It stretches you, but it doesn't break you. So often there are situations, there are tasks, there are relationships that stretch us and really force us to grow, but they don't break us. That's a key distinction. A burden will break you. A difficult task, something that you need to do, will stretch you. And on the other side of it, you'll somehow be better and wiser. You'll be stretched, you will have grown, and you'll never return to your original shape because you're a different person after it. Number three, you're at peace even in the midst of chaos. And this is huge because sometimes things really are chaotic, but the difference between something being burdensome and something being difficult is that in the midst of all that chaos, in the midst of things feeling like they're just up and down and they're rocky, you still feel grounded. There's a sense of calm. There's a sense of peace that you have in the midst of the storm. Number four, there's purpose in the pain. Difficult tasks can actually lead to purpose, and burdensome ones actually distract you from your purpose. There is no purpose in it. When you look down the road, you think, why did I do this? Why did I go through this? What was the point of it other than taking time from my life or taking energy or resources or ruining relationships? Things that are burdensome destroy, but things that are difficult, they're purposeful. They move you closer to where you're meant to be. And then lastly, it's worth the effort. You know, many things in life that you really, really want are hard. There's no way around it. But the real question is it worth the effort? If you go through what you must go through, will it be worth the effort to stick with it and to persevere? So I want you to think about that task that feels hard right now and ask yourself, is it difficult or is it actually burdensome? Because burdensome is a message. Difficult is also a message, often that you just need to dig your heels in. You just need to persevere. You just need to keep going. Because really 90% of success is not giving up. It's continuing to move forward when others would have just let go, would have just given up. But if there's no purpose in it, if there's no energy in it, if you realize that in doing this you're moving further away from your purpose and your path, that's a sign. It's a sign to let go. If you want more life strategies, just visit me on my blog. It's valerieburton.com/blog. I'll talk to you next time.